Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to my kitchen. Let me tell you what I'm making today. Not something from any fancy restaurant, but something from my own cookbook. This is my cookbook. It's called The Vegan Indian Home, and it has really simple recipes of food that me and my family eat on a daily basis. All the pictures are actually taken by me. So I thought today I should take the cauliflower and potato dish and I should make that with all of you. So the ingredients are really simple. We need some cauliflower, we need some potatoes, we need a large tomato, we need some tomato puree, we need some cumin seeds, some turmeric powder, some red chili powder, garam masala, dried fenugreek leaves, and some curry powder, Indian curry powder, some oil to saute everything, and maybe a tablespoon or two of water here and there just to get the potatoes tender. Okay, so I did get the process started a little bit, so I'm going to give you a sneak peek into where we are at with that process. There you go. So this, I'm actually making many portions more than what's mentioned in the book. So here are my cauliflower and potatoes. So the dish actually starts out by adding the cumin and the ginger juliennes. These are the ginger juliennes. So you take cumin seeds that look like this, and some ginger juliennes, and add it to some hot oil, and then you give this a toss. Once they are nice and aromatic, you can see like the ginger gets reduced to wisps of crispy. See, that's actually the ginger that gets cooked in the oil. Okay, and then you wash your cauliflower and the potatoes and then add them to the oil. You give them a good toss, and then you add all your dry spices. If you ordered my spice box, you should already have all of these spices in your repertoire. Himalayan pink salt, there's also cayenne pepper, turmeric powder, there is coriander seed powder, fenugreek herbs, dried fenugreek leaves. You can see this is kind of crispy and crunchy, and cumin seeds, and of course you will also get curry powder in your box. Okay, so we've added all the dry masalas. Gonna give it a good toss. I'm gonna raise up the heat. So this has been actually, I covered it so that it would get a little time to build up the steam. But if you feel like it's not happening or you're cooking with much less oil, then you can always add a little water to generate the steam. Okay, so now it's at a point where it's time to add the fresh tomatoes. The onions, the potatoes are still raw. You can see they're not cooked at all. This is a hard potato, right? So the steam that comes from adding the tomatoes is actually the moisture that gets drawn out, and it really helps to tenderize the potatoes in the long run. I'm also going to add, trying to do this with one hand is not fun, right? Hi Nalini, welcome. We are making some cauliflower with potato from my cookbook. Okay, so I'm adding some tomato puree. This is from a can of whole tomatoes, and I just took some and added it in and just pulsed it because I didn't have the smooth puree. So, you got to make do with what you have, right? And I'm going to toss this, give it a good mix. It smells incredible, especially when you put the dry fenugreek leaves, these herbs. Oh my god, it's so aromatic. I have yet to add the curry powder, and I think I'm going to do it after I finish this live video. I just haven't gotten to a point where I can work with one hand. They're over there in the other cabinet. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna cover this back up, and I might have to come back and give it a little bit of hot water, just put hot water on the sides to build some more steam so it'll cook evenly. And the heat I'm going to temper down to medium. This recipe comes from my book, and you can see it's very few ingredients that you have at home. It's actually gonna end up looking exactly like what you see, and the instructions are also very simple. Moving along, let me give you a quick sneak peek as to what else is happening. And I told you this is a vlog style, so you'll actually get the full lowdown of what all is happening in my kitchen right now. So this is my lentils that I've boiled. This is my electric pressure cooker. You can do the same thing on your stovetop. And these are pink lentils, so they're actually called masoor dal, and it's just a nice light pink lentil that doesn't take too long to cook. And I've boiled it with some salt and turmeric. I will create a tempering for it, so that's definitely on the cards. Also, I'm making some rajma, which is red kidney beans. So these have already been, I soaked them overnight and then I boiled them. Hey Rodney, how are you today? So I soaked them overnight and I boiled them with salt, and now I'm going to create a tempering for that as well. And the best thing that I want to show you today, I know I've done many videos on this, but I guess you guys just never get tired of asking. And this is my master curry sauce. This is the way that they make it in the restaurants. This is how you want to do it. So I've basically taken 4 onions, 4 tomatoes, ginger, garlic, all the whole spices, cinnamon, cloves, bay leaf, cardamom, black cardamom, some cumin seeds, some fennel seeds, some asafoetida. Everything goes in, some stems of cilantro, and also some curry leaves and some fenugreek leaves and curry powder. Everything goes in, and I've boiled it. And once it boils and everything is tender, you actually go in there with a hand blender and blend it out. You see how everything is just whole? So you don't really have to give it a fine chop. I also added half a potato to make it nice and smooth. So the next step that you want to do is you want to go in with a hand blender. And there's a whole YouTube video that I did on how to make the master sauce. You go in with a hand blender and basically blend it out till it's nice and smooth. Okay, and this is going to be the base. Sorry about that noise, but it's kind of unavoidable. I don't have a tech team. It's me, myself, and God. That's just the 3 of us in this kitchen. Okay, let me show you the consistency of this. You see this? Okay, so there is no oil in this curry. So if you're following an oil-free lifestyle, you can actually make this and then saute this in a non-stick pan and really get some good flavor out of all your Indian food. So it's very easy to do an oil-free lifestyle if you know how to make a base curry. Okay, there is a YouTube video. If you'd like a link, you can always let me know. This is the master curry that they use in restaurants, and I use this for chicken dishes. I use it for my chickpeas, for my proteins. Sometimes I'll also use it as a dal tempering. So I basically just go on the pan, I add some oil or ghee, and then I saute this further down, and it becomes like a nice caramelized curry paste. And that's when I add it to all of my dishes for that nice aromatic feel. So right now it's not cooked enough, so we're going to cook it down. I'm going to let it simmer, but for that I'm going to have to cover it back up. That's that. And the next thing that I want to actually show you now is roti making. And a lot of you asked me about roti making. I have done some videos about it. I've always been making different kinds of rotis on this page. But today I'm going to do the basic roti that we eat every single day, especially with the dry dishes like cauliflower and potatoes, or with okra and potatoes, or any kind of stir-fried dishes we eat the roti, which is a flatbread. So I'm going to show you the technique. I've already done the video about how to knead the dough, and the proportion of durum wheat flour to water is 2 cups of flour calls for 1 cup of water. Knead it slowly, then let it rest with a few drops of oil, and then knead it round to a smooth ball. So I'll show you what the dough looks like, and I'll also show you the exact technique of how to make a roti and make sure that it's nice and well cooked. Okay, so again, time to flip the camera. We are going into pro mode. What did I do here? Okay. Yeah, time to get started. Okay, so I have a pan on medium to high heat. These are my tongs for flipping my rotis. I'm also going to need a rolling pin. I need some dry flour to dredge it. This is the same durum wheat flour out of which we have made the dough. As you can see, my dough is really smooth. So after adding the 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of water, you want to knead it, but you also want to let it rest for a little bit and drizzle some oil and then cover it, let it rest for 5 minutes. When you take it out and then knead it again on a clean surface like this, you just kind of rotate it onto itself. There's no punching, all of that has happened already, right? So this is the final coming together of the dough just before you're about to roll it out. So you're just gonna rotate it on its axis like that and make a nice big smooth ball. So when your roti dough starts to look like a baby's butt and it doesn't look like cellulite, that means you did the dough right, baby. Okay, so that was the DIY, the 101 on dough. Right now, I just want to focus on actually making the roti. So you're going to take it, make a ball, and then flatten it out. And then you'll take the edges and you will pinch the edges. You see how I'm pinching the edges? I think there's too much of a glare somehow. So just take the edges and pinch. See how it's kind of it forms a dome shape. So it's thin over here and thick over here. So you're going to dredge it in the dry flour again and press it down. And then you're going to roll it. Okay? You're going to roll it once, you'll turn it 90 degrees, you'll roll it again, turn it 90 degrees, roll it and turn it 90 degrees. Now it might look like I am going back and forth, but actually the technique is that you're putting more pressure on this side than on this side. If you're left-handed, it could be the other way around. And basically you're trying to spread around the edges. So the motion is really like this, right? Like as if you were rowing a boat. And then you'll see that the roti automatically moves and it's easier to form the circle. So you see how it kind of just moves? So you don't have to constantly flip it. But if you're new, you can just roll out a little bit, turn it 90 degrees, and then roll it out a little more. So the trick is to hold it tight on one side and loose on one side. I know it's highly technical, but you know what? The more you do it, the better you get. It's not like pie making where you have to push it and then again push it. It's not like that at all. This is the motion. Okay? So just make sure that the edges are not thick. I think that's where most people get stuck. And pinching the edges in the beginning definitely helps. Then you're going to dust off the excess flour, because you don't want that to burn, right? And you will put this down on your pan. Till the time that happens, you're going to go ahead and roll another one. So I've been making this for a long time, which is why I don't need to measure the weight of the roti dough balls that I take out. But if you're new, you can use a knife to cut it. You can use a baker's thing to cut it, like the dough scraper. You can use that to cut your dough. Again, so press it and then work from the edges, work from the center of your palm, press it down. So you'll see like you have a flattened disc. Dredge it in the dry flour. Keep an eye on this one in the meantime. So this is how it works. You just roll it and then you turn it 90 degrees, roll it, turn it 90 degrees. And whatever side of the roti is on top, make sure you come back with the same side every time. Now look at this. This is forming bubbles here. You see this? They're little bubbles. That's when you know it's time to flip your roti. So the first side takes a little time. The second side needs to stay on there for longer because it needs to cook. And the third final flip we are going to give it is right on top of the flame. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. I'm going to quickly roll this one out. Same technique, didn't do anything different. Just make sure the edges are nice and thin. Now you can sneak underneath and see that it's fully brown. It has nice brown spots. This is the time when you're going to come onto your flame and put your roti right on top. And usually the first one may or may not puff up. It's just something that happens. But just make sure you cook it evenly on both sides. There you go. Not burn it, but cook it evenly. And then put it on a nice tea towel. So I'm going to put it on a tea towel and then I'm going to fold it over so that it stays warm. You can put butter, you can put ghee at this time. And so the process continues. I have another one that's going. If you have any questions about how to make your own flatbreads, you can always shoot me a comment. There is a roti recipe also in the same book. So basically I'm making two recipes from my book today. One is the simple roti and one is the cauliflower with potatoes. Again, same thing, just roll it, turn it 90 degrees, roll it, turn it 90 degrees. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. This is the second side, so I'm really trying to see that it should have the nice brown spots that I need. If you're new to roti making, just make one at a time. It's going to be hard for you to multitask and keep an eye on that while working this, and I totally understand. But trust me, over time, it just becomes easier. So now when you see bubbles coming up on this, again, get it off the flame and put this directly here. And you'll see that it'll start to puff up. You see that? Yeah. So that's when you know that you've put enough moisture in your dough, because that's what creates the steam for the rotis to puff up. If you made a dry dough and it's not moist enough, your rotis will not puff up. In either case, you still have to make sure that the edges are cooked properly and there's no raw pockets of dough anywhere. This is how we do it, baby. Every single day. So many billions of people that live in India eat this every day. I don't know, several times a day, right? Okay. I'm just gonna do one more. So dredge it in the flour, pinch the sides. Technique is the same, pinch the sides. Put it back down on your board. Keep an eye on that. As soon as bubbles appear, it's time to flip. Roll, turn. Roll, 90 degrees. Roll, turn. Roll, and turn. Roll. Okay, now bubbles are here, so time to flip it. And the fourth one is ready. Well, I have to make about 25 of these, so I'm gonna be here a while. Okay, now you see the other side is also nice and brown. So this is a good time to give it a, there you go, you bring it directly on your stovetop and you're going to cook it on both sides. Perfect. Ah, don't get stuck, bro. All right. Okay, so yes, so my roti making adventure continues. I hope that you were able to learn something. If you eat roti every single day, then you know that this takes a little while to get there, but once you get there, you'll not enjoy the store-bought rotis anymore. Am I right? Or am I right, huh? Hi Nalini, hi Ruby, hi Nalini, Naidu. Oh my god, I have two Nalinis watching. How cool is that? So yep, so that's my roti making adventure. I'm going to continue to make the other 23 that I have to make, and I have to make the kidney beans and the dal tempering. But if you had any questions or if you'd like to order my book, it's at www.queenscurrykitchen.com. Order online. There's a online shop. You can also buy my spices from the website. Again, it's www.queenscurrykitchen.com. There are spices for barbecuing, there are spices for marinades, there are spices for stir fries, curries, you name it. Hey Tiffany, how are you? Where you been? It's good to see you, girl. All right, so I'm just gonna show you one last one. This is the third flip, so it's going on the stove. Yes, football, baby. That's what you want. So when it's nice and puffy and full of steam, you know we did something right. Yeah, baby. Na, 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 na. We're winning the roti game. Yeah. All right. So in my mother-in-law's eyes, I would have certainly passed. So if I can puff up a roti, then I am a rock star. Well, I'm a rock star either way. And so are you. If you want to learn how to cook like me, you can always message me and join one of my online classes, which are really popping and filling up fast. So if you want to learn, there's all levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So 1.5 hours of one-on-one instruction with me on video chat, and I will be cooking alongside you. So if you want that, you can definitely send me a message. I would love to mentor you and show you how you can be eating better. You can be sneaking more vegetables into your diet and not feeling bored of the same old recipes. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I am thankful to God that you're well enough to come and join me, to come and see these videos. I always want to thank you for your support and your love. As a small business, it really means a lot to me when I see orders coming in, when I see messages of support. It really warms my heart. So thank you so much for your love and support. I appreciate it. Stay flavorful, be blissful, and join me again as I do another one. Tomorrow, I will see you here. Don't do anything crazy. Wear that mask, wash your hands, and enjoy your food. Thank you so much. Lots of love and lots of blessings for protection for your family. Goodbye now.